And now it's time to generate the token. In fact, we have done that in the last video, but then this is the hard-coded token which we are sending. Not a good idea because different user will get different tokens, and every time you log in, you should get a different token. Now, how do we do that? So to achieve that, first of all, of course, we don't want to return this, but time being I will keep it there. I will change it later. And I want to generate the token now. Now, when you say you want to generate a token, it should be based on certain things, right? It should have the subject. Maybe we can use the username as a subject. We have to specify the issue date, expiry, and other things if you want to mention. And where you will keep all these things. So what you can do is you can create a map of claims. So basically I want to create a map of claims. And the type of this map will be string and object, because the key will be string. The value will differ, right? So you can have different type of data. So I'm going for the object type here. And we have to import map, and we'll say new hash map. Okay, so we got the claims here, which is the map. At this point, this is empty, but we'll build it step by step. And now I want to return the token. So to generate the token, we can use something called JWT class. If you can see, this belongs to JSON Web Token package, which we have got it from the Maven repository. And you can use this. Let's import the package. So we'll use this. This is basically a class. It has multiple methods to work with. One thing if you observe, there is a method called claims, and this is where you can mention all the claims. It also has claim builder. So we are going to basically use this claim builder to build our claims because we have to specify multiple things there. So either we can use claims to build it or we can use builder, even claims. Okay, let's use builder because that's JWT builder we have. And with this, I can use certain methods. So the package which we have used, let me show you the package. So the version of that package is 0. Okay, where is that? So I will go to my pond.xml. Now, since we are using 0.12.5, they have made some changes in 0.12. So we have to use a new code. In the initial days, we were basically using, I think, set claims. And you can see set claims basically is deprecated. Now this got deprecated in, I have to download the sources so that I will know in which version it got updated. So set claims is basically deprecated from 0.12. So if you're using the older version, it will work properly. Even for this version, this will work. There's no error. But again, this is deprecated, so use the latest one. And which is the latest one? So we can use directly claims. So I can simply say, instead of saying set claims, I want to say just claims, then dot, and now we can set what are the values you want. So basically, I want to first of all add the claims. So I will say add, and this is where you will add this map. So in this map, it will add all the claims. The next thing I want to do is I want to set the subject. So again, earlier we used to use set subject, and now you can see it is deprecated here. So all these methods, set issuer, set expiration, all these are deprecated. So we can directly say subject, and this makes much more sense, right? So we are adding claims, and what are the claims we are adding? We're adding subject. Subject is basically the username. And okay, so to get the username, I have to accept the username here. And from where you will set the username, we are calling this from user service, right? So when you are generating a token, we need to send the username. So we're sending username from here to here, and we can set the username here, subject, or we have to set the issuance time. So I will say issued at, and I will say new date. I want to specify the current time. So I will say system.current time millis. Okay, not so dot, and then we have to specify the expiration. This will be again the same thing, but then with the expiration we have to add some extra time. So I will just multiply this with 60. So this is milliseconds, right? So into 60 is seconds, into 60 is minutes, and I want to let's say do it for the 10 minutes. So this will be applicable. This token will be applicable for 10 minutes, or maybe we can also make it 30 minutes. That's fine. And then we have to specify one more thing. So this will generate the token for you. I mean, you can generate token from this, but we have to also sign it. Remember, we have talked about data signature. And to do that, we have to use a method called, so we have to say dot, and the method name is sign. But if you can see, it is not there now. So we have to basically say, and I want to also mention something. So you have to use and. Let me just delete this line. Why it's not giving suggestion for signing? Oh, okay. It's and, not add. Typo. And when you say sign with, basically you have to pass a key. Okay, now I'm not sure what key I have to pass, and maybe I have to generate the key every time. We can use some standard key, but as I mentioned, if you want to make it secured, we have to use some technique to do that. Once it is done, you can simply say compact. This will generate the token for you. Okay, but then how do we sign it? Now this is a critical part. So when you say sign, we have to generate a key here. Now I don't want to write the code for the generating key in this particular method. There should be some other method to do that. So I will say get key, and let's create this method. Okay, and since we don't have this method here, so I will simply say, okay, create method get key. So I want to create this method which will return the key for me. And how do we generate the key? So what you can do is you can simply return the key here, right? And then there are multiple ways. One way you can create a key here. You can say a private string key, or maybe I can say secret key. And I can mention whatever key I want to mention here. Maybe something like CF781. I'm just generating a random key. Okay, so let's say this is the key, and then you are basically return the secret key here. Again, not a good idea. I will show you the proper way, but this is a normal string, right? And to convert this normal string into a key, what I can do is I can basically return keys dot. So there's a method called keys dot, and for which algorithm we are using this key. So we are using it for HMAC SHA, and then we have to pass this key here. Let's see if this works. No, even HMAC SHA takes the byte. Okay, so this basically, before I send this, I have to convert this into byte. Okay, no problem. I will create a byte array. I will say key bytes equal to. Now, how do you convert the string to bytes? So basically, I can use something called decoders dot base64 dot decode, and we have to pass the key here. So what it will do is it will use this 64 base decoder, and it will convert your string into bytes. And we have to pass those bytes here. So by doing this, we are generating a key, and this should work. Let me verify if this works. I'm not sure. I'm just experimenting it. We have a proper way, but before doing a proper way, I just wanted to show you, will it work? If not, we'll do certain things. So there's no error till this point. That's a good thing. Okay, no error. Let me go back to my browser, and you can see we were getting this static text because we are returning it. Now let me just hit the login. And okay, so we got 401. Okay, we got an exception. Let's see, what is the exception? It's huge. It says that specified key byte array is 32 bits, which is not secure enough. Okay, this is not secure. So we have to basically generate a secure one. In fact, you can Google it. You can search a key from Google and you can get it there, and it should work. So this is not working. So what I will do is I will generate this key. So this is not safe. That's what it says. So if this is not safe, then how will you generate this? So maybe I can create a constructor in which I can just create this key. So JWT service. And let's write the logic for generating key here. So I don't want to use this key. This is a default value. And in fact, this is not secure. So I will just remove that. Now, how do you generate this key? So there's something called key generator. So if you see key generator, this belongs to Java x.crypto, not the cryptocurrency, but cryptography. And I'll use this, and I can say key gen. And using this key generator, I can create the object of it. So key generator dot get instance. And in this instance, you have to specify which algorithm you're working with. So I will say HMAC SHA-256. So this is the algorithm we are using, and this might throw an exception. Okay, that's what it says. I want to use try catch, not throws exception. Okay, so this is basically the thing. Now, once you got key generator, I can basically use secret key equal to. So using this key gen, you can generate a key. So you can say there's a method called generate key. Okay, but generate key will not give you a string. It will give you of type. Okay, so we have to use something else. I will use SK here. So generate key returns a type of secret key. Okay, so no problem. I will just use secret key. It's an inbuilt type in Java x.crypto. And from this secret key, we have to get the string, right? And if you remember, we have used something called the base64 decoder here. So we have to do just encoding there. And I can use sk dot, in fact, not sk dot. So I can use base64 dot get encoder, and we have to encode that into string. So let's use our secret key, or not secret key, sk dot get encoded. So basically this will convert that into the string, and I will just use that here. So I will say secret key is equal to this. So what we're doing is we are generating a key. So this will be generated as soon as you create the object for this. And maybe you can also create a new key every time you request for it. So again, that's the option you have. But what we are doing is we are generating a key, this one, and that is what we are using here. Now we are not doing hard-coded value, so I hope it will work. So let's go back to the code, go back to Postman, and now hit this once again. And this time it says, okay, so this is working. Okay, so we have generated a key. Now, what are the values for the key? So the username is, if you see authorization, okay, not authorization, the body, the username is Naveen. So it should create a token. The subject should be Naveen. So let me copy this. How do I verify that? It's very simple. You go to this website, which is jwt.io. And here you can just simply paste this. And you can see we got the subject as Naveen. You got the IAT as this. Okay, the date for this ending is not proper, so we have to change that. So anything here? Okay. So I'm multiplying it. I should add it. Okay. So we have to basically add the time, not multiply it. And that's why it was giving you some invalid value. Let's verify that once again and go back here, click on send. Server is not ready yet. Server is ready now. Let's copy this new token and verify it from this website again. Paste, and you can see now it works. So we got subject as Naveen, we got IIT as this is the current time, and then this is the expiry. You can see this is 3 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever the time is. Okay, so that's the calculation you can make. Maybe I messed up with some calculation. That's not important. Important, you can set this. It says invalid signature because we are not saying that you have used 64 encoded, and now it says signature verified. So yeah, that's how you generate a token. So we have done with the one big step of generating a token. Now, just to show you what we have done, simple stuff. Basically, we are saying generate token. We are specifying some claims, which you are adding it here. And then you are saying that you also want to sign it. And for signing, we need a key. And we are generating a key here. Okay, so maybe you can generate a key. So maybe you can write this code in this method. Even that works. And you can just do that. So there are multiple ways of doing this. And that's how you generate a key. Now, this works, but then what's the next step? See, the next step is very simple. When you go to Postman, once you got the key, once you got the token, I should be able to copy this. And now for the other request, let's say I want to get all the students. Now, when you want to send the students, I don't want to pass username password because I got the token, right? You're logged in. And once you log in, you don't have to pass username password every time. You got the token. So that means instead of using basic auth, I want to use the bearer token, and in this, I want to pass the token which I generated, okay? So I want to log in through the token, not with the username password every time. And when I click on send, it's not working now. I want this to work. That means when you send this token, on the server side, we have to take this token, verify the token, or validate the token, and then say, hey user, I know who you are. You can access the resources. How do we do that? How do we validate the token? Let's see that in the next video. Bye-bye.